The one on the last night is the 6th episode of the 6th season of Friends. This is directed by David Schwimmer, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And there are two main parts of the narrative, and I will talk about those in turn. But first of all, I just want to mention Pumpkin Ben. I love Pumpkin Ben. Very iconic, very funny, and very enjoyable. The other two parts of the narrative focus on Chandler and Joey, and Monica, Rachel, and Phoebe. And this is, of course, the last night, referring to the fact that it's the last night Monica and Rachel are spending time together as roommates because Rachel is about to move out in, I think, 11 hours' time. And we'll come back to that part in a moment. I definitely think that part's more emotional. But Chandler and Joey are also planning on spending a last night together, and Joey gets pizza and Chandler gets Chinese, which Joey says is the food of his people, and it seems like it's going to be a really nice night. But Chandler is also trying to give Joey money to help him out with the bills because he is leaving him kind of last minute, and he wants to just give him some money to help him out while he, I guess, gets to grips with his finances living on his own, or if he's waiting to get somebody moving in. More on that eventually. But Joey doesn't want to accept the money. And I did wonder, would I accept that money or not? And I feel like if somebody offered me £1,500 I'd probably take it. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. I've never been in that situation. But Joey certainly doesn't want to take the money. So Chandler suggests a friendly game of foosball. And I like the fact that they are playing foosball on their last night together. And Joey is $500 up. Chandler offers him a sudden death, $1,000. He's going to make it easy for Joey to win. What could possibly go wrong? I love the suspense here. The pacing was brilliant as Chandler takes his eye away from the foosball table, picks up his Chinese carton, and Joey unfortunately scores a goal in Chandler's goal, and now the game is over and Joey hasn't got the money. So Chandler suggests they play, I think he suggested blackjack. Joey says it's not his game, so Chandler suggests a new fun game, a game called Cups, which I think is one of the most iconic creations since Fireball. And they play Cups and Joey wins at every turn. And obviously this is because Chandler is making the rules up as he goes along, and he gives him the $1,500, no problem. Unfortunately, Joey then plays the game with Ross, and Ross wins based on the rules that Chandler made up. Credit to Joey for remembering all of that. So it kind of backfired tremendously, and Chandler tries to give Joey more money. And Joey kind of realises what Chandler is doing. He still doesn't realise that Cups was made to give him the money. But he tells Chandler, I'm not going to miss you giving me money. The only thing I'm going to miss is you. Tell me you watched that without crying, because I can't say that. That is so moving. It doesn't matter how many times I watch that episode. As soon as he says that, it's beautiful. And he gives Chandler a parting gift. He gives him Pat the dog. And I don't think Chandler's too thrilled about that, and he tries to give him money for Pat the dog, and that's kind of how Joey realised about him trying to give him this money. But it was a very sweet way to end them living together. It's the end of an era. We then go to Rachel and Monica, and they're meant to be going out celebrating, actually. I quite like this. They're going out for dinner with Phoebe, and they're actually not marking Rachel moving out, but celebrating Rachel moving in with Phoebe. I love that they're putting this positive spin on what is otherwise an emotional time, and I thought that was a really nice idea. But Rachel asks Phoebe if she can help her pick out an outfit. Phoebe goes into the room. Rachel hasn't packed anything. The reveal was pretty great. The room is a mess, and Monica comes in and is initially annoyed by this, but then Rachel says, surprise! It's a gift for Monica, because Monica loves packing, and I love the fact that Monica immediately picked up a bag of packing peanuts or something, and just absolutely loved it, and was thanking Rachel, and I just thought it was a really beautiful moment. And I also love, very, very funny, when Monica told Phoebe to go and tell the guys they have to help. Phoebe tried to get the guys to leave before Monica found out it didn't go according to plan, and Ross had to use Ben as his excuse, which is why we have the fake Ben, which I rather liked. And the guys are spending their night together. They have plans, so they get out of it as well. And they start packing Phoebe, Rachel, and Monica. It's really emotional. So Phoebe suggests something that on the surface seems like a good idea, but at the same time I think it's just absolutely terrible. She told them, instead of thinking about things you're going to miss about each other, think about things you won't miss. And that seems like opening a really dodgy can of worms. And once they started, it didn't stop. And they just start arguing and fighting and bickering, and it gets quite intense. And then I think Phoebe had a clever idea. And she told Monica initially that it's harder for Rachel because she's the one who's moving. And it seemed like that was going to be a step in the right direction. It didn't work. So Phoebe said, I don't want to live with Rachel. And the reason she said this is because she likes Rachel still, and she's worried that if she lives with her, she'll start to fight with her the way they are fighting just now. And I think she knew what she was doing there, because she knew Monica would turn around and try and convince her that she has to live with Rachel, and here are all of the good reasons why. And Monica ultimately realised that not only is this hard for Rachel, but she was so supportive when she found out about Monica and Chandler and then moving in together. And it's getting emotional. It's a really beautiful moment. But did they have to go into the empty room? Rachel leaving, handing back her key. First of all, why is she handing back the key? The guys across the hall, I can't say that now. Joey across the hall has a key for an emergency or when they're out of Doritos. So why is Rachel handing back her key? I feel like she should have a key for emergencies. But nevertheless, she hands back the key. She leaves. That was emotional. And then Monica goes into the empty room, and it gets a bit much at that point. Did she have to? Did we have to see the room without Rachel's stuff in it? It's a bit much. But obviously, very emotional, very moving. And then we end with Chandler over in Ross's apartment, which we don't see that often. We don't see Chandler over there very much. And he's trying to convince Ross that he just made up cups, and Ross isn't having it. So Chandler says, well, let's play cups. I'll win my money back. And then he comes up with a new rule on the spot to get his money back, which I quite liked. I think this is a brilliant episode. Very funny, but very emotional. Obviously, it's marking quite a significant change. Chandler living with Monica, that's a pretty big deal. What's going to happen with Joey? Is he getting a roommate? Obviously, I know the answer to all of these questions, but I won't go into any more detail. But we have some pretty exciting things ahead. And this is definitely a really brilliant episode. Very moving, very well done, with some really fantastic moments.